So before we begin, I know you're probably already asking, Jay, did you really make an entire new series on your channel just so you could talk about Inigo twice? Well, yeah, I did. You wanna come fight me? Sometimes people ask me why I like Inigo so much, and besides just smashing on my keyboard or being unable to form words with my mouth, I usually say I think he's just a well-written character. But there's definitely more to it than that. I thought about it, and I think I finally know what makes me love Inigo outside of his voice and awesome design.
Thanks.
I love the way his character develops. Welcome to Mirror Emblem Light and Shadow. In this series, we take two separate characters from two separate games and show you how they're not as different as they might seem. But this time, the characters aren't different. In fact, they're the same guy. So how's this gonna work? Of course, we'll still be doing the old switcheroo and answering the question of who would win in a battle to the death, but the trait section will be a bit different. I'll be showing you traits that Inigo and Laslow both obviously share, but this time we'll be looking at how these traits changed over time. Let's get on with it, shall we? Inigo's most prevalent characteristic is just how flirty he is. But unlike other Fire Emblem flirts, Inigo actually has a reason for being the way he is. He may be shy at heart and a little bit awkward, but flirting is the way he learned to connect with people. This comes from his support with his mother. Olivia says, "Oh, well, if you're so shy, why do you spend each day hitting on every girl you find?" Inigo replies, "Heh, you of all people should know the answer to that one. After all, you're the reason I developed this flirting habit in the first place." What I most certainly am not. And Inigo says, "Yes, you are. When I was little, I was even more shy than you are now. I came to you in tears asking how to be more comfortable around people, and you said the fastest way for a man to practice bravery was to talk to women." Inigo's not really a scummy guy at heart. Unfortunately, his mother gave him some pretty iffy coping advice when he was younger, so that's really the only way he knows how to cope with his feelings of isolation and connect to other people. The following comes from his support conversations with his father. To give a bit of context, Inigo's father has become frustrated with him for claiming that flirting was his only purpose. Inigo says, "Do you think I'd be out here if I were only after girls? Out here fighting every day, wondering if this is the time I don't make it home? You may think me a dandy and a fool, but a lot of people depended on me in the future. Every day I was out there fighting Risen and risking my life, with everyone looking to me to be strong. I had no choice. I had to be invincible. I couldn't complain or show any weakness, not with everyone else struggling in that damn war-torn wasteland. Even with you and Mother gone, I had to pretend I was fine, that I wasn't hurting. I had to fight every day of my sorry life and wear a smile while I did it." Inigo flirts with people both to try to make them smile and because he needs a way to start talking to them.
Hey there.
However, while Inigo's intentions aren't necessarily malicious, it's still kind of scummy of him to keep being so persistent with women after being told no.
Come on.
Straight from his support with Shell. He's only trying to help her enjoy herself, but he just doesn't understand the phrase, "go away." Inigo says, "Hey, Shell, ready to go? I've got the whole day planned." And Shell replies, "My day is already planned. I'm training, now go away." Inigo says, "Sorry, no can do. Persistence is my greatest strength, you know." And Shell says, "It's pronounced tragic flaw." And yeah, that is a huge flaw in Inigo's character. And because of just how persistent he is, most of his supports with females completely revolve around "Inigo is flirting with me and he won't go away." But that's just a consequence of being young and stupid. When Inigo becomes Laslow in Fates, his tendency to persistently flirt is lessened substantially. What? Good character writing in Fates? What universe are we in? Laslow actually has some pretty amazing support topics in Fire Emblem Fates. These range from gardening with Mozu to practicing performing with Azura and even making up a game with Elise. Wow, none of those revolve around flirting. Does Laslow still flirt with some of these women?
Hey there.
Yeah, sure, old habits die hard, but it's not the focus of all his supports. Laslow has finally learned that he can connect to and make other people happy in other ways than flirting, and he even learns how annoying his persistence was. In his support with Selena, she gives him a taste of his own medicine. Laslow says, "Please, no more. You're making me very uncomfortable, Selena." Selena says, "Oh really? Never stops you, does it, you lunk? Do you get it now? Throwing out all those empty compliments isn't nice. And even if they were welcome, you can't just play with people's hearts like that." Laslow insists, "But it was never my intention." Selena says, "I don't care what your intentions are. It's not your intentions that matter. It's how the other person feels. Do you get it yet?" And he does. While flirting is a major part of Inigo's character, his willingness to change and tone it down shows that it doesn't define him. And for an Awake of Fates character, that's huge. Having Olivia as his mother, Inigo developed a natural talent for dancing at a very young age. However, unlike flirting, Inigo is embarrassed of his dancing talent. That's why he often sneaks out in the middle of the night to practice it so that nobody can see him. Not even his mother can convince him to fully get over his stage fright. His support with Olivia covers the fact that he finally achieves his dream of dancing with her, but it doesn't really do much for his confidence otherwise. Still, when he first arrives in Nor, he's sneaking out at night to practice without anyone watching. However, another artist actually does begin to convince Laslow to dance with confidence. This time, instead of his mother, it's the mysterious singer Azura. In their support, Azura catches him dancing at night and offers him some critiques, just like his mother did. Unlike his mother, however, she actually goes a step further in what she has to say. Azura says, "This may sound harsh, but dancing like that is unfair to your audience. Practice in secret all you want, but when you step on the stage, you're there for them. You must dance with confidence so they can carry your strength into battle." Laslow says, "I never thought of it that way." Laslow takes her words to heart, and in their next report, he thanks her for her critique. And then, depending on whether or not you consider it canon, takes her advice and puts it into practice in their S support. Inigo really needed to hear that his stage fright not only affected his dancing ability, but also his audience. Nobody really gave him this advice in Awakening. Hearing actual constructive criticism from someone similar to him is what he needed to finally dance with confidence. Or maybe it was the Dragon God. We'll get to that in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, between these two flirtatious anime men, who would win in a fight? Well, this time we're going completely from a lore-based perspective, so there's absolutely no way that I could get it wrong this time. The winner of this battle is Laslow, of course, but not just for the obvious reason of him being older and more experienced, and more muscular, and well, I'm back on track here. Laslow was blessed by a dragon god. This fact is never explicitly stated in Fire Emblem Fates, as it's mostly restricted to the Hidden Truths DLC, but from a lore standpoint, the Awakening Trio are probably the most powerful beings walking around in Nor. Not only were they gifted raw power and new outfits from Anankos, they also were gifted the blood of dragons. If you buy the DLC, the Awakening Trio gains the ability to use dragon veins. And how long does that last in the lore? Oh yeah, a couple of decades. How did these people not single-handedly take down King Garen? Oh yeah. But I digress. Inigo may have been through 2 wars relatively early in his life, but Laslow's got god powers. One hit from that guy and he very well may cause a time paradox by killing himself. Now you may be saying, nothing would happen if these two switched roles. They're the same guy. Yeah, I know, but small differences can go a very long way. Specifically, let's try and put Inigo in Nor. This would not work. Like, not at all. Xander is already pretty fed up with Laslow's flirting, and there's no way that he would deal with a younger, more mature version of his flirtatious retainer. Similarly, there's no way that he would deal with a weaker version of his retainer either. Xander is the crown prince of Nor, and his retainer should be almost equally as strong as he is. In their A support, Xander explains why. For a bit of context, Xander is admitted to having 2 retainers before Laslow and Perry. Unfortunately, they both died. He says, "It's easy to say that they died fulfilling their duty, but I believe that had I been stronger, they would still be alive. They died because I was weak. Laslow, if you wish to fritter away your life on nonsense, I cannot stop you. But please, stay vigilant. Don't ever make me experience something like that again. Inigo may be strong, but Laslow is stronger. Lucky for Xander, he found this man when he had been through 2 wars, and blessed by a dragon god. Sure, 3DS era Fire Emblem may not have had the best writing, but the character development of Inigo to Laslow is truly a diamond in the rough. And I don't just say that because he's my favorite. Compared to other well-written characters in 3DS Emblem, Laslow and the Awakening Trio really do stand out. Perhaps all they needed was one more game to really shine.